Hello, welcome to the sideboard one last time here at the Star City Games Modern Open in Columbus, part of the SCG Tour, brought to you by Ultimate Guard and Carnox chairs. Dom, you're very familiar with these. You're very familiar with winners interviews now. 3 times this year, 3-time trophy winner.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm trying to put the Khan in Carnox chairs here, and I figured playing stock Mono Green Tron, you weren't going to give me a deck tech, so this is the only way I could get in here and have some quality time with you.
Not a bad way to go. When did you land on Tron? Because I know you were kind of looking for decks.
The usual life cycle of this is I start begging for cards on Twitter Thursday afternoon, if I figured it out by then, and then I'm running around the event site during my buys trying to get everything together. But I thought Tron would be a good call for this tournament because people know, or at least should know, that Hogak is for real. Last weekend I played it in the Team Open in the Modern seat in Philadelphia, and it felt like people had just forgot that both Dredge and Hogak even existed. I didn't think that would be the case this weekend. I figured people would have their ley lines, their rest in pieces, their just decks that are fundamentally solid against Hogak insofar as you can be. And if you look at all of those decks, there's a common theme. You know, Jund, Urza, the blue-white decks that people are playing, they're all very soft on Mono Green Tron. And I don't mean Eldrazi Tron. That deck is an embarrassment. You know, when you play Tron Piece into Expedition Map and your opponent just winces and lays back in their seat, and then you play Eldrazi Temple Matter Shaper and they visibly and audibly sign relief, you know you're doing something wrong, or you should. Just let that be a lesson. But a lot of those decks not only are soft to Tron, but they've made themselves even softer to Tron. So you look at the blue-white decks, they don't have a ton of Stony Silences anymore. Or you look at the Jund decks, I know Jerry Thompson for the PT suggested just cutting Fulminator Mage because why devote 4 slots to a matchup that you're probably going to lose anyway. So those decks are making themselves much softer to Tron, and Tron is just a very powerful deck. You know, it's maybe the mainstay of Modern at this point. If you bought a Tron deck back in 2012, you can be playing it today in 2019 and it's still been very good in the interim. Yeah,
you've been crushing everyone for years on end, dodging all the bans. Hogak talk of the weekend.
Yes.
Obviously was a huge player at the Mythic Championship, huge here as well. Top 8, 4 copies. You took down 2 of them on your way to the title.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, in the finals, you know, for a weekend of watching Modern where it's just a bunch of people mulliganing, a bunch of people looking for sideboard cards, and then playing the I have the answer for your sideboard card or I don't, game over, not a ton of compelling gameplay. This finals was actually pretty interesting in all the games.
That first game of the finals was one of the most absurd games I've ever played. And I've been playing competitive Magic on and off for 15 years now. So yeah, I was just kind of in a daze during that entire finals, but somehow emerged on the other side. Like, I thought that game too as well. I thought I had that one sewn up, but I was saying to him as I put the 2 lanes in play, like, I can see the route where you win this game, and it was pretty obvious. Just turn 1, 2-1, turn to make some more guys and just start attacking, you know. And those are the games that you lose now, especially with Seder Wayfinder in the mix. Actually, it's much more realistic for them to just cast Vengevine and start beating you down. So you have to be cognizant of that. Like, pre-game leyline is not game over anymore by any means, even if it stays in play.
What's it feel like this year to kind of pop up, new to the tour? You've been in 5 finals, 3 wins already, all in the Modern seats too. I mean, obviously one was a Team Modern, but Amulet, victory, Hogak, old school version, victory, and now Tron.
Yeah, we had the KCI team finals in Columbus as well.
You've done all the busted stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I think, been the best deck selection philosophy for Modern over the years is find the unfair strategy that people aren't prepared for. And this weekend, that was Tron. And I will say, if you were in the Team Nova Patreon, if you were following our content and following what we were saying, then you would have known that in advance. And I had a few people come up to me and say, like, we heard that you were on Tron, and after listening to your logic about it, it kind of made sense. So those of you who were there would have known that ahead of time.
Now, are the rest of the team members of Nova in this Patreon? Because they didn't play Tron. What's going on here?
They didn't. As you know, I mostly do my own thing, and we collaborate. And Harlan's Urza deck, which I think is either back-to-back or back-to-back-to-back top 8s now, that deck might just be busted too. So there's a lot of innovation and refining going on in there. But to get back to your question, it's been It's been a wild ride, honestly, and it was here in Columbus that this whole adventure started back in January. So teaming with Dr. Tarek Patel and Omar Belden, I went into that with zero expectations. We ended up getting second, and in the finals, it seemed like it was a good matchup, and I was thinking maybe this could come together. And so I was not expecting on that Saturday morning to be torn up inside over losing that finals, but it turned out that way. Then won the Open the next week, and now went to everything for 6 months, and then thought I was going to dial it back for season 2, wasn't quite sure. Then we won the team Open, and now...
And then you're right back in.
I'm just back in the loop, I don't know what to say.
All right, closing here, where's Modern go now? Do they have to make a move? Do they have to do something with the Hogak immediately, or?
Well, after these results, I would look at Tron. I ban Expedition Map, ban Ancient Stirrings. You could ban Commune with Dinosaurs just to be safe. But yeah, Hogak needs to go. I think you can tell from the statistics that we saw the MC, where despite all the hate, it had the best conversion rate, the best sampling. I think it's the 8-2 or better deck list. It's just a warping force in the format. And even if the format moves to a point where it's not winning as much anymore, it's because people have main deck Leyline, or they have 8 graveyard hate cards on their sideboard, and those won't even be good enough sometimes. So it's taking the worst excesses of Modern and the things that people always denigrate about it and pushing those to the extreme. And so for that reason, it needs to go. Still not really happy that Tron is in the format. That's not too fun to play against either, finals aside. But yeah, I think I would be shocked if Hogak is still there after the next announcement. But I said that after the last one too, so here we go.
All right, well, you're number 1 on the season 2 leaderboard now.
Yes.
You were there last season as well, but this season I hope you have a strong close of the season, and either way, you're Player of the Year race, strong candidate.
But it's good to be king once again.
Congrats once again.
Yeah.
Dom, Harvey, going to send it back over to Patrick and Cedric to close it out here in Columbus.